Hi, I'm Louisa Rich. I'm a family law attorney with Erica Baez Law in Richmond. I grew up in a small town in Ohio, technically a village, and I'm an only child raised by two scientists. I was always taught to think very logically. My dad never let me win at board games even when I was little. And at the time I thought he was just competitive, but I think what he really taught me was how to anticipate the other person's move and be strategic. Now he actually likes to play against me because he knows I'm the one to beat. When I was 17, I left my small town and my family to be a foreign exchange student in France. I lived with a host family of 5, and even across the language barrier, I could sense that something was shifting in their home. I learned that the parents had been separated and were actually slowly working up to getting back together, and I saw up close just how layered family relationships can be. Later, in college, I actually went abroad and stayed with a single mom in Brazil. So her house was full of energy, people coming and going, music playing. But every night she made a big pot of soup and we all sat down together. That was her way of showing love, through acts of service and food, even if she didn't always say it. And I definitely got fed super well. So for the third host family I stayed with in Switzerland, it was actually an older couple who told me they fell in love by writing letters after meeting on vacation. You can see someone's soul that way, they told me. And it helped them have compassion for each other, even in the low moments. And that stuck with me. What I learned from all of those experiences is that there's no single version of a normal relationship. And every family looks different. But what they all had in common was a deep desire to love and be understood. And at some point, we all face those challenges of navigating that when things get complicated. So after graduating from UVA Law, I actually took a different path than most. While many of my colleagues were going into corporate law, I started at a nonprofit, working with families who couldn't afford legal help. They were people in a crisis facing systems that they didn't understand. I learned quickly that legal skills matter, but so does listening with empathy and no judgment. Family law especially requires this. You're probably going to share a lot of personal details, and you want your attorney to understand, not to judge. I don't believe in creating conflict just to create noise, but rather to think about what makes sense for your unique goals, and I prepare early. I anticipate the others' move, and one thing I love about law is that power comes through strategy and knowing how to use the system. But more importantly, I genuinely care about the people I represent, not just legally, but on a human level. I've had clients cry when they sign their divorce papers and others who just burst out laughing when I got to tell them, "Congrats, you're divorced." And then for custody, the truth is it's never really over, which is why I always like to think about long term so that we have a lasting plan that really works. Every story is different, but achieving that moment of relief for you to start your next chapter is what brings me satisfaction. If you're going through something hard and you want someone calm, clear, and on your team to guide you to the next chapter, I would love to help.